Let's go. Okay, let me just get this angle, kind of. Also, no, I did not clean up my craft desk at all for this video. And I haven't tidied it in about 5 months, so I'm sorry about that. But here we go. This is my sketchbook from 2015. I bought it with Charlene when we decided that we wanted to do some more drawing. It's just a moleskin sketchbook from Indigo. Most of it was filled up in 2019, so you will see that. But let's start from the beginning. Okay. The first few pages of this sketchbook, I remember I was trying to draw something every day, and so I didn't really care what it looked like or how finished it was, so I just kind of was doodling. Apologies if you hear Briar yelling in the background. He is playing an online game of some kind in which he's pretending to be a character from Newfoundland. So anyway, the first few pages are just some doodles with pencil crayons. There's this little fairy character, I think her name was Willow. I like to draw flowers a lot. There's actually surprisingly not that many flowers in this sketchbook, but there's some. Sometimes when I have a bit of a melancholy day or an anxiety day and I don't want to just be lying on my bed staring at the ceiling, I just doodle stupid things. So that's what this is. And there's a few pages like that in here that you will see. So I started this in April of 2015, which means that it's been pretty much exactly 4 years. Is that how math works? So 4 years. Yeah, so 4 years. Little wordy poem-y thing that I drew and wrote after a really nice night spent talking with Charlene. Then we have some sketches that you can't even really see what's happening there. Decided to draw with pen. Drew some wildflowers. You'll notice that I don't really ever draw on the back side of the page, so that's especially sad that it took me 4 years to finish this, considering I'm literally only drawing on one side of the page. But these pages are like really thin and they would show through if I drew on both sides, so yeah. This is the first time I discovered that I could draw birds, and I didn't even finish the picture, but that was exciting because I started to draw a lot of birds after that. Not in this sketchbook, but for other things. There's a lot of half-finished sketches in the beginning of this sketchbook. I was trying to figure out a logo for my card company that I had in 2015. More sketches that you can't even see. Some sisters hanging out. More sketches. There's so many sketches in the beginning of this that have, oh wow, look, a blank page. Great. I drew a girl that I follow on Tumblr. Her URL is Cylindric on Tumblr. She's a really cool artist, and it was her birthday, and so I felt like drawing her. Yeah, she's also French, which is why I wrote happy birthday in French. Okay, random words. This is one of my favorite things that I drew in 2015. It's a little forest spirit. I discovered that year that it's fun to draw characters with like exaggerated proportions, and also it's easier to make them look like you did it on purpose instead of just like trying to draw something correctly and getting the wrong proportions and then it just looks bad. And I was like, well, I want to draw more forest spirits, and I drew this creepy little guy because it was Halloween month. It was October, and he's a little gremlin. Don't really like him very much. But anyway, this is the first time that I drew this face. And this is a face that I now pretty much exclusively draw, this style of face, because I figured out that I can do it and kind of make a person look like a person that way. So I drew Hermione, and I was planning to finish this and never did. Will I go back and finish it now? Probably not. Like there's another one. I was sketching some characters for a storybook idea that I had, and I don't remember what the idea was at all, but we have the Star-Eyed Girl and the Cornerstone Cat and the Sunshine Child, so don't remember what they were about. Some more sketches. I tried to draw foxes and failed terribly. Another blank page. Wow, great. This is a great sketchbook content, right? I tried to draw some different styles of faces. Didn't like them at all. This one turned out to look exactly like the way my mom used to draw, which kind of threw me off and was interesting. Like, it literally looks exactly like pictures that I saw my mom draw when I was younger. Is this my first self-portrait in here? Well, it says self-portrait take 2, but was this take 1? No. I don't know. Another day when I was having an anxiety day and just didn't know what to do, so I just wrote out my anxiety. Yep. I tried to draw Charlene, but it was in pen, so I couldn't fix anything, and it wasn't very good. Yeah. Another self-portrait take 3. That one's pretty cute. Briar's yelling again. Super giraffes. Charlene was having a bad day, so I drew her and myself in our giraffe onesies being superheroes and took a picture and sent it to her. I use my sketchbook for planning a lot of things as well as for drawing, so anyway, part of a poem that I wrote in 2015 or 2014. Oh, here's another example of that exaggerated feature thing that I liked. This is my flower wizard character. I like them a lot. They're a wizard who carries a bunch of flowers under their hat. This is the first piece of fan art in this whole book, and you will see that eventually it will be almost exclusively fan art. I tried to draw Maya from the Goblin Emperor and got very frustrated because I couldn't draw eyes, and also the whole thing is just in general pretty bad. So yeah. This is in 2015 when I was doing my teaching placement. I spent 5 or 6 hours working on planning a science unit for grade 3, and then the plants that they were going to be planting for that unit were nasturtiums, so I decided to just draw one because I had it on my mind and put all the parts of the plants that I had to teach them. Planning math. Self-portrait number 4. This one's also very cartoony, so it's alright. Another blank page. Wow, great. Oh look, some more terrible fan art. Look, it even says terrible fan art 2016. Oh, we're in 2016. Whoops. I don't even know what these characters are from. I think these characters are possibly from a Charles DeLint book, maybe. And these characters are from the Thessaly books, but it doesn't really matter. They're all terribly drawn anyway. And then we get into Pokemon season. So this is 2016, which is, as you probably know, when Pokemon Go came out. And I was on that train for sure. So we've got Oddish and Eevee. I tried to start a series where I was going to make all of my favorite fairy type and grass type Pokemon into like actual fairies. So I started with a Flabebe. How do you even say it? Flabebe? Flabebe. Anyway, I started with that one, and I think this is still my favorite one that I did. So then I did Blossom next. Then I drew Togepi. Super cute. And then I ended that project because I can't finish things. I was trying to figure out what kind of pumpkin I wanted to carve that year. I ended up going with a cross between this one and this one, I think. Some sketches of my Hobbit dream house plans, which don't make any sense because I'm not an architect. Ooh, I like this lady. She's a sleepy snow witch, apparently. And then I tried to draw some eyes. I tried to draw Maya again terribly. Eyelashes are hard. Don't know why they have fruits for heads, but I was just trying to figure out kind of what my style was in clothing. This is the beginning of 2017. And then this is a map of 2 of the books that I'm trying to write, because I'm trying to write like 12 million different books, and none of them will get finished because I have too many projects, but this is a map for 2 of them. One of them set in this country, and one of them is set in this country. Some more doodlies from a day that I was not having a great day, and also did some more, I guess these are more self-portrait number 5. This is the one that I want to make into some kind of animated intro for my videos at some point, which I said I was going to do in January and definitely have not done yet. A skunk witch. Cool. mermaid that I didn't finish, but I'm actually pretty happy with this mermaid. Her face looks okay. And also her hands are not too bad. Although I always make hands way too small. Oh, here's some more fan art. This is Yorsh from The Last Dragon by, who's that? Silvana Dimari. Love that book. Adorable, very cute. He wears an old wedding dress for most of the book, which is great, and I wanted to draw it, and I love him. This is after Spider-Man Homecoming came out. Can you believe that was 2 years ago already? Anyway, I wanted to draw him hanging out, so there he is, because he's cute. A small spider child. Then another blank page. Here's another day where I was having an anxiety day, and I put some tea on the page for some reason. Also, okay, me having a bad day, and this is the beginning of 2018. I was planning out some videos. Then I was planning out my other sketchbook, my flower craft sketchbook thingy. More bad days. This was a really bad day, and I wanted to do things with my hands so that I could try to stop thinking about the things that I was upset about. So that's what I was doing. That's why there's just a mess on here. Moving on, planning out some poses for the Nutcracker photo shoot. Then we got some more attempts at drawing faces. I really like this little character that I made, Meryl. They gave me this one character gave me the idea of this hair that I carried on as I was developing different characters. Like this is the first time that I tried to do it. I tried to do it for my character Oddly Hasbeen, which I use in Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, but she doesn't look like this at all anymore. Like this is the first time I drew her, and then I realized that I wanted that hairstyle for a different character, and I wanted Oddly to be wearing a gnome cap because I decided that Oddly was a gnome, not a halfling. More sketches. I appear to have lost my ability to art. Love writing little notes to myself like that. Now we get into the section of the sketchbook that is just pure prep and planning for our game of Scum and Villainy, so I'm just gonna skip that. So there's that hair. This is the character that finally ended up getting that hair. This is Delightful Song, my character for the game of Scum and Villainy that I'm currently in the middle of with a couple of my friends and my brother. So there's Delightful Song. So this is, now we're in 2019. This is, well, that's 2018, but we're starting to get towards 2019 at this point, and we're only halfway through the sketchbook. So I got to drawing a lot more this year. And now I'm drawing some more NPCs from the game of Scum and Villainy. So this is Puck Diligence. She is an NPC that we are rescuing, that we're smuggling to a safe house. We have Clarity Pathos, who is, this might be one of my favorite NPCs that I've drawn in here. We haven't even seen her in the game yet, but she's a villain that I created, and I'm excited for her to come into the game at some point. This is Darling Belle. She's an NPC that we saw once and probably will never see again, but I felt like drawing her anyway. Then Scarlet Repose is a recurring NPC because she is one of our contacts, so we will probably see her pretty often. So there she is. And then we get back into fan art. So I was binging Friends of the Table stuff from October basically until January, I think is when I caught up on everything. So this is, I'd finished Counterweight, so I was trying to draw the Chime. And I'm happy with all of them, except I was really not happy with the way I drew Arya. And so for several pages after this, it's just me trying different ways of drawing Arya. This is the Chime. They're all right. I'm gonna skip this one because it's just terrifying. Here, I was drawing Arya as Alanis Morissette, or Alanis Morissette as Arya, because on the Discord we had a conversation about Alanis Morissette being a possible voice cast for Arya Joy, except I'm not great at drawing realistically, so yeah. And here we have Puck Diligence again. I love her a lot, so I drew her twice, and I hope that she gets to stay in our game for a while because like I said, I love her a lot. She's wearing a cool flower crown. Okay, then I tried to draw Arya again. This time just from some pictures from Pinterest. Again, really not good at drawing realistic faces. This one's slightly better than this one, but they're both kind of not great. Oh, more fan art. The rest of the sketchbook is almost exclusively fan art, so, but that's me. That's what I draw now. This is Spark / Ash and the Fool from the Realm of the Elderlings books. Spark from the last couple books, and this is a much earlier version of the Fool from probably the first or second book, because they look way too young to be from the last book, and also they're white, not gold. So then I drew some flowers because I was like, wow, I haven't drawn flowers for a really long time. I should fix that. So I drew some white campion. I decided I wanted to go back to my Pokemon project of drawing fairy types and grass types as real fairies, and the first one I tried to draw was Hoppip, and it did not work at all, so let's just skip that. And then I drew Ralts, and I'm much happier with the way I drew Ralts. And then I abandoned that project again. So we have some more video planning. I don't know. Oh, this was my first attempt at drawing Pharaoh, and I realized that I drew him too big and also wasn't really happy with the way I drew his face. So instead of erasing it and starting again, I just did it on a whole new page. So here's Pharaoh having a moment under Samuel's tree. Spoilers for Spring and Hyron, sorry. But I love him, and that moment meant a lot to me. And all of the stuff with around those few episodes, like, I had a lot of feelings, so I had to draw them, and this also happens when I am drawing with pencil crayons. Then I watched all of the Umbrella Academy, and I love Vanya, so I drew Vanya and some small Vanyas and the white violin. Ta-da! Not great. This reminds me of the way I used to draw when I was like 14, but it's fine. Then I drew with some really bright pink pen. I don't know why I was using, I think that was just the first thing that came to hand, and I really wanted to just draw stuff, so I drew a bad bird and some flowers. Okay. More Scum and Villainy planning. Another blank page. And here we have Grand Magnificent, not the only picture I've drawn of him, but the only one I'm happy with. I drew something else and it didn't look like him and also was bad. But this one I'm pretty happy with, and it has the lyrics of Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, because Art, the player that plays Grand Magnificent, said that Shallow is a song for Grand Magnificent, and I took that and started having a lot of feelings about it, and so I had to draw it. So there we go. That's that explanation. This is my planning page for 15 Days of Friends at the Table, which was a 15-day art challenge that I actually participated in and managed to finish. So I could actually go through, I think I have everything on this craft desk, even the stuff that's not in the sketchbook. So I could show you all of those things, even though they're not related to the sketchbook, but they're related to 15 days, so maybe I'll show you. Before that, I have this character, Matilda, who I'm planning for a game that hasn't even started yet because I haven't even been invited to it yet, but I might be, and I already have a character idea, so there we go. Then I was trying to draw 1415 as Carsonet's Ironclad, and I made it too goofy first, so I did it better. So this is 15 days, day 1. The prompt was forget, and so I drew 1415 from Twilight Mirage as their last incarnation, which is called Carsonet's Ironclad. And I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know how to draw robots, but I tried. Day 2 I did not do in my sketchbook, so let me find it. Day 2 was, the prompt was boardwalk, and I made this little embroidery picture from a location in the Patreon-only campaign, Bluff City. So that's what that is. Day 3 was drifting, and I drew some criminal bears in a boat, casing the joint from a one-off game of Honey Heist that the friends did. Some of my 15 days things were pretty goofy, some of them were pretty bad, and some of them I'm pretty happy with. So day 4 was my dance video, which is on my channel, so you can see that. And then day 5, the prompt was birds, and I drew this monstrosity. Like this, it just looks like a normal chickadee and it's great. And except this wing is a little bit weird looking. But then I had to give it human legs, kind of, because it's a Mistral from Hyron. It's not any specific character, it's like my own OC of a Mistral in Hyron, so yeah. Day 6 was fashion, and that's when I made this, which you've already seen a time-lapse video of me making that. So, it's Paternoster from, also from Bluff City, obviously, Bluff. Day 7 was blooming, and I drew this mech from a live at the table, a recent live at the table. Yeah, sorry, this is just all Friends of the Table fan art for 15 things, so sorry if you don't understand any of the references, but yeah. This is a mech called the Rose of Sharon, and I drew it broken and surrounded by little tiny Rose of Sharon bushes, which are supposed to show the scale of how big the mech is, but I don't think it does a very good job. And also, I don't know how mechs work, and I don't know anything about mechs, and so I don't know if I did a good job with this mech, but there we go. Then, day 8, the prompt was Rejoice, and I drew Arya Joy and Jackie Green after the last battle that they were in the end of Counterweight. I really love Arya's face, her expression, the way I drew it. I liked it a lot more before I colored it in, but it's still okay. Not really happy with the colors in this, and I wish that I could do digital art so I could have done it a better job than I did with markers, because I don't know how to use markers properly. That's the other thing. Anyway, so day 9 was strings, and I made cool string art things. So these are dip string in ink or paint. I used silver ink for the silver part and gold paint for the gold part, and you dip it in and then you put it on a piece of paper and you fold the other paper over top of it and you like put it inside a book and then you pull the string out basically. And that was how the this galactic phenomenon thing was described in a recent live at the table. It's called The Strand, and it was described as looking like string pull art, so I did some string pull art to make it, and then I drew some little cute little planets and stars and stuff around it. I'm really happy with these. I'm very pleased with how these turned out. They were actually also really easy. To be fair, I did try like 500 different times before I actually got any to look good, so maybe they weren't that easy, but day 10 was pattern, and I was feeling lazy on day 10 and also was starting to get a little bit burnt out from all of the art creation, and so I just did some fingerprint birds, 28 brown birds, except they're red, but whatever, perching on the granite parish, which is a pattern magic thing from Hyron. Day 11 was clocks, which I did in my other, this is my flower sketchbook thing, my flower scrapbook that I've done some stuff in, and I did it in here because it's more of it's a much more scrapbooky type thing. It's a crafty thing rather than a drawing thing. So collaged this picture of a water clock, which is a thing in Hyron. I'm really happy with that one actually. That one turned out really well. The next day was day 12, was Divine, and I painted this using acrylic and some watercolor, which you're not probably supposed to mix together, but I don't know how art works. And I also didn't have a thin enough paintbrush, so I was using like a needle to try to draw all of these nerves slash vines. So that was really difficult and finicky. I probably should have just gone and bought a better paintbrush, but this is what I had and this is what I did. But I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out actually. I think it was pretty cool. It's a divine called Perennial. I forgot to mention that. Day 13, the prompt was transition, and I decided to draw this character called Acre 7 from Twilight Mirage. She used to be a planet and now she's a human, but she moves like stop motion slash like a looping GIF, and I kind of tried, this is the first time I tried to draw her, and this is not the one I ended up posting, but I tried to draw her like planet and then she's a human, and anyway, didn't like it, so I ended up drawing her with watercolor, painting her in with watercolor, and I drew her doing some great martial arts, kicking a torch unit in the face and exploding its head. because she does stuff like that and she's pretty cool. So it's kind of a vague use of the prompt transition, but it's like the transition of how she moves, basically, I guess. Yeah, there's Acre 7. Day 14 was Embrace, and I drew my boy Pharaoh again, hugging Samuel the last time that he ever saw him. So this is prior to the last picture I had of him, but it was a very good hug. It was a very good scene. I cried re-listening to it to draw this as much as I cried the first time listening to it, so, and the second time because I re-listened to that episode as well. Anyway, and then the last day, day 15, the prompt was Awake, and I made this, which was really lazy, but it was the last day and I was tired and also didn't have enough time to do anything big, so I just printed out this quote and watercolored a little picture of Tender. I've never drawn Tender Sky before, but I'm pretty happy with it. So that was the last day of 15 days of Friends at the Table. Sorry that I went on a big tangent and didn't just stick to the sketchbook, but let's continue the sketchbook now after this. Oh, we're getting really close to the end now. So I had done fan art for 15 days straight and didn't want to do fan art again for a little while, so I drew some flowers and butterflies. I was also having an anxiety day again, and that made me feel better. And then the next page is my friend Casey / Newt on a friend that I met on the Friends at the Table Discord, and she posted a really good selfie and I thought it was really cute and I wanted to draw it, so I drew it with her favorite flowers, chrysanthemums, around it. And she calls the expression that she did lizard time, so that's why that's there. And then we're on the last page, context for the last page of the sketchbook. I did it last night and I was on a voice call with a bunch of people from Friends at the Table and elsewhere on Discord, and I just asked them for some suggestions of what I should draw on the last page of my sketchbook, and this was the result. So I drew this first before I asked anybody. I drew the grapes. And then someone suggested that I should draw a giant bean, and I asked what kind of bean, and they said Smuckers, which meant a jelly bean, so I drew a giant jelly bean. And then I asked what else I should draw, and someone said I should draw Kirby, and someone else said I should draw a zebra, and I was like, I can't draw a zebra. And then someone said, draw a zebra Kirby, so I did that. Then someone said I should draw a lily with eyebrows, so I drew a lily with eyebrows. And there we go. That is the last page of my sketchbook, and with that, I am done. I'm going to do a little craft now to put something on the front so that I know that this, like, when this sketchbook is from, and I can organize things well. Let's do that. That was my sketchbook from 2015 to 2019. Drawing makes me happy, and it's good to do things that make you happy, even if you're not very good at them. So that's my lesson for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!